Hey guys, it's Katie. So literally a few minutes ago, I finished watching The Martian, which as some of you know, I read the book a few weeks ago. I'll link my video for my non-spoiler review if you haven't read the book. So this video is definitely going to talk about details from the book and from the movie, so I recommend that you have seen at least the movie, but it might be best if you had seen the movie and you read the book. That being said, let's get started. In general, I thought this movie was pretty accurate to the book. Among my friend group, I tend to be known as quite the stickler when it comes to book to movie adaptations, and I was really impressed with The Martian. I'll admit there's a lot less science in the movie than there is in the book. The book is really science heavy, and while I personally enjoyed that aspect, I know that that was kind of a turnoff for other people, or it made the book harder to understand. That's also something that's hard to convey in a movie very well, or at least in the quantity that it is in the book. So I was okay with how much they cut the science out of the movie. They also cut out several events in the book, especially near-death experiences, but I think they kept in some of the bigger ones and some of the more important ones. So I thought that was good. I'll admit that when he was on his trip to the MAV for Ares 4, I was expecting the dust storm like at any time, and it never happened, and I was kind of like, what? But that's okay. I was okay with that change. It was just kind of funny. I was just expecting it, and so when it didn't happen, I was kind of surprised. But in general, I thought it was really pretty accurate to the book. I really thought that Matt Damon's portrayal of Mark Watney was pretty excellent. I think he really captured some of what made Mark in the book, his humor, but also his ability to problem solve and the way he acted when he was in an issue or in a crisis. I felt like he was very accurate to how Mark was in the book, and I really enjoyed that. I also thought his acting was just really phenomenal in general, and that makes sense considering he's been nominated as Best Actor for an Oscar this year. In general, I thought that the special effects in this movie were phenomenal. I thought they did a really good job making everything look really clean, and it kind of had a slightly futuristic but slightly here and now look, and I like that they didn't make it super futuristic, but I felt like they did a really good job with kind of keeping it timeless in a way. I also really loved the sweeping views of Mars. When Mark was traveling, you saw these sweeping views of all the scenes, of him, and he'd be like this tiny little dot, and it'd just be beautiful landscapes on Mars, some of which looked a little bit more CGI than other parts, but I really think they did a good job with that. Another thing I was really glad that they showed in the movie was how much weight Mark lost. He's rationing, and he had to ration so much that it was very obvious in the book that he was losing a lot of weight and a lot of muscle mass, and so I was really glad they showed that. And also his teeth were really rather gross by the end, and he talked about the fact that he hadn't showered. And I thought that was really cool how they kind of worked the fact in that, he really was surviving, because some of the time I think when you're watching the movie, you didn't feel as desperate of the situation as it was when you were with Mark. I think when you were with the people at NASA, you felt like it was really desperate. But with Mark, he was surviving, he was doing well. I think the most hopeless of times was when the airlock of the hab blew out and he lost all his crops, and so I think that you felt his desperation then, and there's a few moments when you really feel it, but I think in kind of just the normal shots of him, it didn't seem as completely hopeless. So I liked that they worked in that he was really losing weight and that he was having to ration so badly and that he really was on the edge of survival. So I felt like the book was paced differently than the movie, and that's okay. It just went through a lot more of his time on Mars, and then the ending was kind of the last 70, 80 pages or so. And it ends in a different place, so that's part of it. But I felt like, the whole movie kind of leads up to this climactic ending, and the ending was 35 minutes or something of the movie. So I feel like there was a lot more of the ending in the movie than in the book. But I liked the way they did all of the shots in that part when they're on the ship with the crew, and then they're with Mark on Mars / in space, and when they were cutting back to NASA. I thought they did all of that really well. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I was pretty sure Commander Lewis did not go out in like to grab Mark in the book. I could be wrong. It's been a couple weeks since I read it, but I was pretty sure that Commander Lewis wasn't the one who did that. Also, I'm pretty sure the whole Iron Man thing didn't happen, where Mark like cut the hole and then like tried to control where he went to Commander Lewis. I'm pretty sure that that part is different. I mean, they talked about it. I remember them talking about it in the book, but I think that they were able to do it without that happening. If I'm wrong, like I'd love, tell me I'm wrong. I was pretty sure that didn't happen. That being said, it looked good for the movie. I thought it was kind of cool. I kind of liked that like in the book, you know, they do it one way, and then in the movie you see it in the more like dramatic way, kind of, maybe. I don't know. And then I really was surprised when the movie kept going, because the book ends with him getting on the spacecraft, and then they take off his helmet and they're all like gagging because he smells so bad, and then he's like, I haven't showered in a year, and he's like happy to see them, and that's the end. Like, and it felt a little bit abrupt in the book, but I felt satisfied, I guess, with that ending because he was safe. That being said, I liked that the movie kept going. I liked that the movie showed him on Earth after and in the future, and the fact that they continued their space exploration and were launching Ares 4 or 5 at the end. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they kind of showed like little clips of each of the other astronauts and their like lives after space, after Mars, after that mission. So I thought all of that was really kind of nice. I liked that they added that. It was more satisfying. I think if the movie had ended so abruptly, it would have been a little hard, but I thought that was really good. I think the music through the movie was really good. I liked the score that was there. It was really beautiful, and they used that mostly on Mars. I mean, there was some of it like when the NASA stuff was happening, but I felt like it was really used beautifully like during the like landscape shots. I thought that was really, really well done. I also liked that they interjected all of the like 80s or like disco music from Commander Lewis like throughout the whole thing. That was kind of fun because they picked pretty familiar songs, so like it was good for people who don't necessarily know a lot of old music, which I actually happen to be a fan of older music, but other people are not. So I liked like what music selection they did use. And then I liked Mark's attitude about it, how he like hated it, but like he's dancing to it in that like one scene, and I was like, oh man. And they used it in the credits, which I thought was cool. I liked how they kept that part in there. It kind of just added a little extra something to the movie. I thought that was really well done. So this movie was nominated for a number of Oscars this year, and I personally have actually only seen like 3 movies on the list this year, which I am kind of ashamed about. I might see a few more, kind of depends. So anyways, I think that The Martian has a strong chance for all of what it was nominated for. I don't remember everything. It was like Best Picture, Best Actor. I know there were a few sound ones in there. Best Writing for an Adapted Screenplay. That one, I haven't read the other books or seen the other movies that are on that list, but I personally thought that this was really well adapted, so I think it stands a chance. We'll see. I'm interested to see what awards it actually does win. Let's just take a moment to talk about the fact that Sean Bean was in the like Elrond meeting, Project Elrond meeting, and he was at the original meeting, like in Lord of the Rings. I was having a blast in that moment. Oh my god. I was like laughing really hard. I had to like pause the movie and like tweet about it, and that was so funny. And then he like explains what the meeting is. Like he's like, it's a secret meeting. That's the point. And I was like, he was there. It was so funny. That was gold. I mean, that was like, I'm sure they like didn't plan for that when they cast him necessarily, but it worked out perfectly because that was gold. So that's gonna be it for this video. I just kind of wanted to talk about it. And I'm really interested to see what you guys thought of this movie if you've seen it. Leave your comments down below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my channel and see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button down below. And that's gonna be it. See you next time, guys.